Hey my people, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, please do subscribe because I bring you good informations. Okay, if you have been waiting, your ears have been down for green card filing, work authorization, HB visas, B1, B2 visa, tourist visas. You know how much we have been having backlog of long wait time, really long wait time. Now, I have good news for you. And if you live in the US already, you know how long, many years, like up to 8, 10 years, that it takes to file for siblings. Now, in this video, you hear there's going to be an adjustment. And if you also you are here in the US and you have HB visa, there's also something you need to watch here. So everybody, watch this video.
So good morning, everyone. My name is Carol Wu. I'm a senior advisor for the White House Initiative. I am also a designated federal officer for the President's Advisory Commission on...
Okay. Everybody raise your hand if you approve. Excellent. Unanimous consent.
A Presidential Advisory Subcommission for Immigration and Citizenship in fiscal year 2023 session unanimously voted to fast-track the visa process and arrange to stamp those visas inside the U.S. for many, instead of making immigrants wait in the U.S. consulate abroad.
Okay, but the long wait times for visa appointments when you're outside the U.S. applies to both visas?
They apply to both visas, and I have a recommendation which is coming in the December commission meeting, is on the wait times for H1, L1, and as well as visitor visa. If you look at the State Department's website, right now for several countries, the wait times, as I gave an example of India, it's 844 days to get an appointment for visa. Whether you get the visa or not, that's a different story. And same thing with Pakistan, Bangladesh, Mexico, over 450 days or something. So that is something which we need to look into, and there's a recommendation in the pipeline.
Voted in the past to recommend U.S. President Joe Biden to process all applications for green cards within 6 months.
The green card application within 6 months and adjudicate within 6 months a decision after the application is being received by USCIS. And this is in alignment with USCIS new goals per the chart which you can see below. So we expect that there will be some great news for community in future where they can expect green card in 6 months from the date of application. USCIS should also review requests for work permits, travel documents, and temporary status extension within 3 months and adjudicate.
The new recommendation is to process visas for H1, L1, their dependent families, tourist and other possible visas within United States.
As part of our immigration process, H-1B visa holders are given the opportunity to work in the United States, live here, and contribute to the growth of our economy, innovation, and economic development. But they face a challenge here that when H-1B visa holders they have to travel, even they have a valid visa for 3 years or 6 years, whichever time frame, when they get a stamping on the visa for a certain period of time frame, and when they have to travel outside of US to their home country, India or any other country, they have to get a stamping done to re-enter United States. But they could not travel back to the home country with the fear that if there is often delay in the visa appointments in the home countries. In India, right now the wait period is 844 days to get a visa appointment, which is like 2 years or more. In many countries, there's similar situation, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and many others. China is much better right now. So they cannot get an appointment and they cannot get a stamping done and they get stuck. What happens then? They potentially lose the job. So this recommendation basically is saying that USCIS should update its policy as it was done previously many years back to provide guideline to permit extension of and stamping of visas in US by USCIS. It was done previously, it was stopped, and this recommendation is to requesting USCIS to allow restamping in US. Alternatively, USCIS should also consider providing advanced travel document to these visa holders when they have to travel out of the country with expired visa stamping so that they can re-enter the US without any issues or having to get re-stamping in their home countries. They should be able to re-enter.
Let's have a quick recap of all those 3 recommendations. We will start with first recommendation. Family-based backlog reduction.
We're talking about improving family-based visa processing cycle times to reduce the backlog. Green card backlog for family-based immigrants have grown steadily for last 30 years, making lawful immigration and reunification difficult, if not impossible. For millions of families and keeping them separated for decades, US citizens and green card holders applying today to sponsor a family member abroad expect to wait decades. I'm waiting for my brother for almost 15 years now. Before their families can reunite in the United States. Nearly 4 million people are currently waiting abroad in the family-based immigration backlog, and out of this, large percentage of this belongs to our community. Many family-based immigration avenues have been significantly backlogged for decades, delaying family reunification, presenting serious barriers for individuals attempting to immigrate through authorized immigration venues. And but this, the 4 million data which is backlogged today, and 65% of family-based annual immigration makes about 65% of annual lawful immigration. So and COVID-related shutdowns, limited staffing, full or partial closures of embassies and consulates abroad had an inherited impact of Trump travel bans. All these factors contributed to increased processing times, posing difficulties to process number of green cards. If you look at the numbers, only 65,452 family preference green cards were issued in 2021 out of annual 226,000 green cards available, leaving hundreds of thousands of green cards unused and wasted, keeping many more families separated. There were 421,358 pending interviews in April compared to 436,700 in March this year. So our recommendation is to reduce agencies' pending family-based green card backlog. It is recommended USCIS should review their processes, systems, policies, and establish new internal cycle time goals for streamlining process, removing redundant steps, automating any manual approvals, improving their internal dashboards and reporting system, and enhancing policies to reduce the cycle time for processing all forms and documents related to green card application, DACA renewals, and all other green card application within 6 months, and adjudicate within 6 months a decision after the application is being received by USCIS. USCIS should also review requests for work permits, travel documents, and temporary status extension within 3 months, and hiring new resources and officers which are needed. I understand hiring 200 to 500 more new officers, and cost estimates, secure budget, and implement suggested internal processing times by 2023. It is recommended USCIS share the backlog for processing by using skilled officers, employees from other agencies, and share the backlog for processing by employees from other agencies by hiring temps and contractors as allowed by the law, and increase the officers force by 200 to 250 to reduce the backlog. Also, it is recommended that the National Visa Center State Department's facility hire additional officers to increase their capacity to process green card application interviews by 100% in 3 months from August 2022, and by increasing green card application visa interviews and adjudicate decision by 150% from current capacity of 32,439 in April 2022. By April 2023, and reduce the current backlog by 2023, and then thereafter green card interviews and visa processing timeline should be maximum of 6 months. Thank you. This was my first recommendation.
Let's get into the second recommendation, new measures for reducing immigration backlog.
So the next one is new measures for reducing the current immigration backlog. The immigration backlog has surged from 5.7 million applications at the end of 2019 to about 9.5 million in February 2022, and the State Department wait for in-person consular interviews or for immigration visa rose to a high of 532,000 last July, and an average of 60,900 numbers adding on average a month. the backlog can trap individuals into limbo for months of years with enormous implications for their families. Simple, a person going for an H1 renewal or things, their driver license can be taken out or their lives are impacted. A person waiting for an EAD approval loses the job, or the families, employers, U.S. immigration. So given the delays in approving work authorization documents, many immigrants living in the United States have been locked out of or forced to leave the job and even the country and face immense hardships. So our recommendation is that reduce the wait times. It is recommended USCIS establish new internal cycle time goals to be achieved by September 2023. And some of these, as you can see in the chart, is getting 6 months, some of the application forms and premium processing to be done in 2 weeks, and in 3 months I-765. So one of our recommendation was to automatically extend the EAD card, and which have went into live by USCIS 2 weeks back. It will be automatically renewed for 540 days. So it's a great relief for the community, and thank you USCIS for doing that. And also educating temporary work programs as H1B and H2A visa renewals, extensions within 2 months. It's recommended to request work permits, travel documents, etc. within 3 months, and then DACA renewals and green card request for family members within 6 months. Also, one of the things is that there are a lot of students who have been waiting with their parents for green card application, and they age out. And then they fall out of status. So they call themselves as DALCA, DALCA, but that's not an accurate term. But we also want USCIS to look for them as a special case and find a way for their citizenship path. I will stop here.
I will stop here too. And don't forget to like the video and send it to somebody. This is good news. Thank you for watching.